Vaishnava. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajeham Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giridhar Shirvasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरये नष्टप्रयेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 22, The Marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Aviskrita Sesha Guna Karmodayo Munim Savridaiva tam samrat uparatam uvachaha.
Sri Maitreya said, after describing the greatness of the emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows.
Manuruvacha Brahmasrijat swamukhato Yushmanatma paripsaya Chandomayastapo vidya Yoga yuktanalam.
Manu replied, to explain himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you the Brahmanas, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification.
Tatranaya srijak chashman doh sahasrat sahasrapat hidayam tasya hi brahma kshatram mangam prachakshate.
For the protection of the Brahmanas, the 1,000-legged Supreme Being created us, the Kshatriyas, from his 1,000 arms. Hence the Brahmanas are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms.
Ato hyanyonyam atmanam brahmakshatram cha rakshataha rakshati swavyayo devaha sayah sadda sadatmakaha.
That is why the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other, as well as themselves. And the Lord himself, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other.
Tava sandarshanadeva chinnami sarva samsayaha yat swayam bhagavan pritya dharmamahari rakshishoho.
Now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you, for your Lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects.
Distyami bhagavan dristo durdarsho yo kritatmanam distya padarajah spristam srisnami bhavatah sivam.
It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by person who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head and blessed thus of your feet.
दिष्ट्या त्वयानुशिष्टोऽहं कृतश्चानुग्रहो महान् अपावृतैकर्णरन्ध्रैर्जुष्टादिश्चो सतिर्गिरः.
I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words.
Wonderful. So let's take a little break there. Summarize the first 7 verses. So, in the previous verse, previous chapter, Kadamuni spoke to Manu. Manu is the father of the girl that Kadamuni is going to marry. And Kadamuni is a great, great sage. Manu is the father of mankind. He's like a Kshatriya, he's like a progenitor. Manu, feeling modest, glorifies Kadam's superior position as a Brahman. So the Brahman, even although he's protected by the Kshatriyas, because Kshatriyas are strong in terms of physical power, the Brahmins have great mental strength. They also possess great physical strength, but it's their mental strength which is superior to the Kshatriya, the spiritual strength. He offers sweet words, accepting Kadam's praise as a form of instruction for him, a little like encouragement. For the protection of the Brahmins, the Lord created the Kshatriyas. The Brahmins are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. Sometimes he said the Brahmins are his head. In this situation, Brahmins are his heart. Which is why the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves. So actually the Brahmins don't need any protection because they're very powerful. But the Lord gives service to the Kshatriyas to protect the Brahmins. And they protect each other because the Brahmins advise the Kshatriyas how to govern. And the Lord protects them through each other. Manu thanks his great fortune on seeing Kardam because Kardam Muni is great sage. So even Manu, who is a highly elevated personality, a great soul, yet even he succumbs to the position of a sage. So now it's up to text number 14. Anandilamaji.
स भवान् दुहित्रस्नेह परिक्लिष्टात्मनो मम श्रोतुमर्हसि दीनस्य श्रावितं कृपया मुने.
O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self, for my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter.
प्रियाव्रतो तानपदोः स्वसेयं दुहिता मम अन्विच्छति पतिं युक्तं वयः शिलगुणादिभिः.
My daughter is sister of Parivrita and Uttampada. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities.
यदा तु भवतः शिला शुद्धरूपवयो अश्रिणोन्नारदादेशा त्वयि आसीत् कृतनिश्चया.
The moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you.
तत्प्रतिच्छ द्विजाघ्रे मां श्रद्धायोपर्हिता मया सर्वात्मनानुरूपं ते गृहमेधि सुकर्मसु.
Therefore, please accept her, O chief of Brahmans, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties.
उद्यतस्य हि कामस्य प्रतिवादो न सस्यते अपि निर्मुक्तसङ्गस्य कामरक्तस्य किं पुनः.
To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure.
यौद्यतम् अनादृत्य कीनासम् अभियाचते क्षीयते तद्यशः स्फीतं मानश्चावन्ययायतः.
One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser, thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others.
अहं त्वास्रनवं विद्वन् विवाहार्थं समुद्यतम् अतस्त्वम् उपकुर्वाणः प्रतां प्रतिगृहाण मे.
Sambhanu Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy.
Great, thank you. So, let's just find. So, Manu reveals that his highly chaste and qualified daughter, Devahuti, has fixed her heart on Kardam after hearing of his qualities from Narad Muni. So, Narad Muni is an amazing personality because he travels around the universe making different arrangements and seeing what is going to be good for the universe and also for the devotees. So he makes these amazing arrangements. So again, here we go. Manu begs Kadam Muni to accept her as his wife. Manu said that he has heard that Kadam has not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. So lifelong brahmachari is not a vow that Kadam Muni had taken. And he was prepared to marry. So then it's up to text number 20.
Yes, Prabhuji. ऋषिरुवाच बाधम् उद्वोधुकामोऽहम् अप्रत्ता च तवात्मजा आवयोरनुरूपोऽसाव अद्यो वैवाहिको विधिः.
The great sage replied, Certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place.
कामः स भूयान् नरदेवते स्याः पुत्र्याः समाम्नाय विधो प्रतीतः क एव ते तानयाम्नादयेत स्वयेव कान्त्या श्रीपतिमिव श्रियम्.
Let your daughter's desire for marriage which is recognized in the Vedic scriptures, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is so beautiful that by her bodily luster alone, she excels the beauty of her ornaments.
Yam harmya prishthe kvanadangrishobham vikridatim kandukavihi valakshnim Vivalakshim Vishvavasurya Patatswadvimanad Vilokya Sammoha Vimudha Chetaha.
I have heard that Vishwavasu, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied with infustation, fell from his airplane after seeing your daughter playing with a ball on the roof of the palace, for she was indeed beautiful, with her tinkling ankle bells and her eyes moving to and fro.
Tam prarthayantim lalanalamam Ashevita Shri Charane Adrishtam Vatsam Manuruchapadaha Swasaram Konanumanyeta Budho Bhiyatam.
What wise man would not welcome her, the very ornament of womanhood, the beloved daughter of Sambhanu and Manu and sister of Uttampada? Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her. Yet she has come of her own accord to seek my hand.
Ato bhajishye samayena sadhvim yavat tejobhibhriyadatmanomi ato dharman paramahamsya mukhyan shukla protang bahu manye vihimsran.
Therefore, I shall accept this chaste girl as my wife, on the condition that after she bears semen from my body, I shall accept the life of devotional service accepted by the most perfect human beings. That process was described by Lord Vishnu. It is free from envy.
Yato bhavadvishvamidam vichitram samsthashyate yatra cha vavatishtate prajapatinam patiresha mahyam param pramanam bhagavan anantaha.
The highest authority for me is the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates and in whom it sustains and dissolves rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world.
Maitreya uvacha Saugradhanvanyadeva babhase asich chatushnim maravindanabham dhiyo praghinnan smitasobhitena mukhena cheto lulubhe devahutyaha.
Sri Maitreya said, O great warrior Vidra, the sage Kardama said this much only and then became silent, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Dehuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage.
Sonu nyadvavyavashitam mahisya duhituh sphutam tasmai guna ganadhyaya dado tulyam paharshitaha.
After having unmistakably known the decision of the queen, as well as that of Dehuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equaled by hers.
Okay. So, Kadamuni praises Devahuti, whose beauty was so great that even Vishwavasu, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied by infatuation, fell from his airplane after seeing her. Kadamuni gladly accepted her as his wife, but on the condition that once she conceived, he will leave in order to perform devotional service full time. Even though his father, Lord Brahma's order was to procreate, the highest authority for the Muni is the Supreme Lord. So this is important to understand, that for the sage, his authority is Krishna, and he will do everything it takes to serve the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. So this is what Kadamuni stressed to Manu, and that was accepted by Manu and his wife and his daughter Devahuti. So text up to text number 27.
तत्तरूपा महारानी पारिबर्हान् महाधनान् दम्पत्योः परिद्यात् प्रीत्या भूषावासः परिच्छदान्.
Empress Satrupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles, and dowry to the bride and bridegroom.
प्रत्तां दुहितरं सम्राट् सदृक्षायो गतव्यथः उपगुह्य च बाहुभ्याम् ओत्कान्थ्योन्माथिताशयः.
Thus revealed of his personal responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man. Swambhanu Manu, his mind agitated by feelings of separation, embraced his affectionate daughter with his both arms.
असक्नुवंस्तद्विरहं मुञ्चन् बाष्पकलामुहुः आसिञ्चद् अम्बवत्सेति नेत्रोदये दुहितुः शिखाः.
The emperor was unable to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore, tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, "My dear mother, my dear daughter."
आमन्त्र्य तं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगः पतष्ठे रथम् आरुह्य सभार्य स्वपुरं नृपः. उभयोरिषिकुल्यायाः सरस्वत्याः सुरोधसोः कृष्णाम् उपसान्तानां पश्यन्नाश्रमसम्पदः.
After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, following by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seers, beautiful hermitage on both of the charming banks of the Saraswati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons.
Oh, just one second. So yes, we'll just have a little break there. Kadamuni became silent and smiled, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devahuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage. Devhuti's mother Satarupa gave the couple valuable presents for a dowry. Unable to bear separation from his daughter, Manu poured tears from his eyes again and again. Finally, they bid her an affectionate farewell before traveling back to their capital through many beautiful hermitages. So now it's up to number 36. Oh, I'm still, okay, I didn't share that, but it doesn't matter. So, yes, so from 28 to 36.
Tam ayantam abhipretya brahmavartat prajapatim gita samstuti vaditraih pratyudiyu praharshitah.
Overjoyed to know of his arrival, his subjects came forth from Brahmavrta to greet their returning Lord with songs, prayers, and musical instruments.
Barhismati nama puri sarvasampat samanvita nyapatan yatra romani yanya shangam vidhunvatah Kushaha kashashta evasan sasvadharita varchashaha Rishayo yai parabhavya yanyaghinanyanyam mijire.
The city of Brahmati, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass, and the kasa, another kind of grass used for mats, by means of which the sages worshipped Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who had interfered with the performance of their sacrifices.
Kushakashamayam barhir astirya bhagavan manuhu ayadhyajanya purusham labdhasthanam yato bhuvam.
Manu spread a seat of kushas and khasas and worshipped the Lord, the personality of Godhead, by whose grace he had obtained the rule of the terrestrial globe.
Barhismatim nama vibhur yam nirvisya samavasat tasyam pravishto bhavanam tapatraya vinasanam.
Having entered the city of Brahmasati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that irritated the three miseries of material existence.
Sabharyah saprajah kaman bhubhuje nyavirodhatah sangiyamana satkirtihi sastribhi suragayakaih prati utsesvanubadhena hirdashravan hare kathah.
Emperor Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musicians and their wives sang in chores about the pure reputation of the emperor, and early in the morning, every day, he used to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart.
Nisnatam yogamayasu munim swayambhuvam manum yad abhram saitum bhoga nasekur bhagavat param.
Thus Swambhanu Manu was saintly king. Although observed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna conscious atmosphere.
Ayata yamastasyasan yamaha swantarayapanaha shanvato dhyayato vishnuhu purvato bhruvatah katha.
Constantly, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, consisting of Manvantara era, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord.
Saivam swantaram ninye yuganamekasaptatim vasudeva prasangena paribhuta gati traya.
He has passed his time, which lasted 71 years of the 4 ages, always thinking of Vasudeva and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudeva. Thus he transcended the 3 destinations.
Sari Ramanasa Divya Vayase cha manusaha Bhoktikascha katham klesha Badhante hari samsrayam.
Therefore, O Vidra, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, nature, and the other main and living creatures?
Ya prishto munibhi praha dharmana vidhani chubhan nrinam varsnasramanam cha sarvabhuta hitah sada.
In reply to question asked the certain sages, he Swambhanu Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, taught the diverse sacred duties of men in general and different varanas and ashramas.
एतत्तादिराजस्य मनुश्चरितम् अद्भुतं वर्णितं वर्णनीयस्य तद् अपत्योदयं शृणु. Hare Krishna.
I have spoken to you of the wonderful character of Sambhanu Manu, the original king, whose reputation is worthy of description. Please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his daughter Dehuti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, both of you. So, just there you go. Overjoyed to know of his arrival, Manu's subjects came forth from Brahmavarta and greeted him with songs, prayers, and musical instruments. The city of Bharismati was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar. As he shook his body, his very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass, by which the sages worship the Lord. So this is the origin of the kusha grass, comes from Varaha. Manu himself spread the kusha grass and worshipped. Swambhu Manu was a saintly king, Raj Rishi. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he was always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, 306,720,000 years, or 306.72 million years, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, chanting the pastimes of the Lord. So that's the end of this chapter, and then Maitreya Rishi speaks to Vidur about Devahuti. So this is an interesting part of Bhagavatam, because their union, Kadamuni and Devahuti, brings forth Kapildev, who gives incredible Sankhya philosophy to Devahuti after Kadamuni has left home. So we'll come across that in the next few chapters. Anything you'd like to share, Surinder?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat to all Vaishnavas, Nitai Gaur Haribo. Yes, very interesting, Prabhu. So the conclusive verse, it mentioned about the devotional processes. Namely, Prahlad Maharaj has described the 9 devotional activities, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Dashram Pujana, Sakhijana, Atma Nivedana, like that. Yeah, there is Archanam as well. So. Yeah, so 9 processes of devotional service, and here in a summary form, part of the 9 processes of devotional service is practiced by Swayambhuva Manu, like he's contemplating Vishnu, and he's like writing and listening to Krishna Katha, like that, and Shravanam Kirtanam is there as well. So in this way, we are encouraged to practice devotional activities. And also it's about Kardamuni getting married with Devahuti. So I remember a long time I read this chapter. And if I'm not mistaken, in the purport Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he describes, he mentions that a devotee should marry a devotee, then they will be happy.
Yeah.
And a demon should marry a demon, then they will be happy. It is said like that in the purport somewhere. And then, yeah.
He's right, correct.
Yeah, and also, it mentions some characteristics, some of these characteristics which needs to be considered while considering to get married. So getting married, Prabhu will find a suitable lady, and then they should consider like they should have almost same age, as per the passage is mentioned here. So it's almost same age and same character, same character, like it's like Vaishnava character, so should have Vaishnava character as well. And there should be no age gap. Sometimes in couples getting married, when there is a big age gap, they encounter some difficulties. Yes. And also like disposition. Like disposition means if I like Krishna consciousness, so the person I'm getting married should also like Krishna consciousness, accept and surrender to Krishna. Same way, similarly, like disposition. Yeah. If someone gets married with a lady who is not willing to practice Krishna consciousness, then one may experience difficulty in the long run while trying to practice Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, then some obstacle is created like that. So also it's mentioned about the transcendental qualities of Swayambhuva Manu, and also the transcendental qualities of Kardamuni, like that. So, and it is very exemplary. Kardamuni, after having conversation with Swayambhuva Manu, he, without wasting time, he immediately focuses his attention on Vishnu form, on the Lord.
Mm.
And always he's as much as possible, he's focusing his mind on Lord Vishnu. Always, he's like he's not disconnected
Mm.
in his meditation upon Lord Vishnu like that. It's very exemplary. It's difficult nowadays in this modern age.
Mm.
That's why the process for us to connect with the Lord, his main process is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, by hearing and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra as taught by Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself. Yes, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also, Rupa Goswami has summarized like the 5 main devotional activities. So, Shravanam Kirtanam, which we mentioned, and then reading scriptures, and then deity worship,
Mm.
and then we have Sadhu Sangha. We should always aspire for Sadhu Sangha, and we should be determined to give up mundane association, bad association.
Yes.
Which will distract us from Krishna consciousness. So those associations which can distract us from the path of Krishna consciousness should be abandoned.
Mm.
And then 5th one is to always reside in Mathura Vrindavan.
Mm.
It means we invite Mathura Vrindavan in our heart by always remembering Krishna Katha, Gora Katha, like that, and the instructions of the Lord, Bhagavad Gita. And also by practicing Krishna consciousness in our house, Edina Grihe Bhajana Dekhi Grihete Goloka Bhaya. And yeah, also by going to the temple, because the temple is non-different from Goloka Vrindavan.
Mm.
And then sometimes, if it is possible, we can go to India and go to Mathura Vrindavan over there for the purpose of performing devotional service. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Nitai Gaur.
Thank you. Very good. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Anybody, any questions, any comments? Otherwise, we can stop and continue
Hare
next.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Umadevi.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Sure.
In the last chapter, that is enjoying material life with Krishna consciousness. How I can understand that.
Yes, we're living in this world, so we got no choice to live in this world, and we can either be happy or unhappy. But the nature of the soul is to be happy, whether it is in the spiritual realm or the material realm. The nature of the soul is it wants happiness. It needs happiness, because that is the nature of the Atma. Because with Krishna, it's naturally happy. In the material world, we are unnaturally trying to seek happiness. But when we are in Krishna consciousness, because we have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, that spiritual happiness is automatically there. And together with that also comes material happiness, because we are looking at everything in conjunction with the spiritual world, in conjunction with Krishna. So in many ways, the devotees don't even differentiate between material and spiritual in one sense, because they are in Krishna consciousness and they are happy no matter what the material situation is. So if there's grief in a material situation, the devotee is still in union with Krishna in the spiritual situations. Therefore, he will never feel unhappiness. And the example is Prahlad Maharaj. Because Prahlad Maharaj was always remembering Krishna, even his father was torturing him, trying to kill him in so many different ways. He never felt the fear from the actions of his father because he was spiritually situated. So he was happy both spiritually and materially, because he was constantly under this the spiritual protection of Krishna, or Narayan in his case, and Nrsimha in his case. So in that sense, the devotee, he's happy in either situation. He's happy spiritually, he's happy materially. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Does that make sense though? Surinder, have you got a different slant on this?
No, well said, Prabhu. Yes, always Krishna consciousness and the external environment. Sukhe dukhe bhulo nako vadana harinam karo re. This is advice given by Gauranga Mahaprabhu to us, whether in like material happiness or material distress, vadane harinam karo re. So we always should be absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And also the mood of Saranagati, Manasa Deho Deho Jo Kichu More Arpilun Tua Pade Nanda Kishore. In this mood, so whatever material facilities we have, say for example, we may have car, we may be wealthy, we may have a nice house, Manasa Deho Geho. Geho means house, household facilities. So everything I offer unto you, O Nanda Kishore, Manasa Deho Geho Jo Kichu More Arpilun Tua Pade Nanda Kishore. So all these material facilities engaged in Krishna consciousness will ultimately give us a transcendental bliss. So this is a purport. So hopefully, Uma Didi, do you understand, Uma Didi? Yes.
Yes, Dandavad Prabhu. Yes,
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Didi.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank
Very
you.
good question. Very good question. It's a
Yeah,
good
very
point to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so we can stop there and we shall meet next Monday. Thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate you spending your evening with us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Dandavad Prabhu.
Hare
Dandavad Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare
Jai
Krishna,
Gaur Hari.
Lina.